So now we start to make a bulkhead. This tail is actually not really excellent for this face, because the hair is so short. So the shortness of the hair will make it a bit challenging, and it might be that the head is slightly too small. But this is now the material that we have, so we are gonna try to work with this one. So now I try to get as long hair as possible. So I'm got there. Remove the really short hair that you don't use. We don't want that. Okay. There. And this is now going to be bulkhead. So we can cut some of the hair from the end, but not much, because we really need to have the whole length of this hair. I really would want this to be a bit longer. Anyway, this is the super glue is dry, so we don't need to use tissue. So what we do is we put this hair on the hooks, and 1-2 rounds. This time we try to spread it more also to under the hook, but still the most of this material is on the top, and we tighten it. And this time we really want to make another round and tighten. So we want these ends to actually jump up like that. The more the better. No, well, not exactly. This looks pretty good. And one more round. Yep. And now we take the special tool. This is from the pen, old what is it called? Well, pen anyway. Ballpoint pen, something like that. Anyway, this is from a pen. And then we just use it to push the hair backwards. And then we hold it with the left hand. And we pull the tying thread forward slightly so that it's out from the hair, and then we start to make wraps. So now the goal is to make cone shape step from the tying thread so that it pushes this hair backwards like that. So we'll just keep doing it. And now we cannot just make many wraps there, because if we just make wraps there, at some point it will collapse. So that's why we do most of the wraps on the front, but then every now and then we have to come back to the front and then go to the back, so that it's a cone shape. And again back there. Now the hair is pointing backwards pretty nicely. It's exactly what we want. But if you look, the tips of the hair, they sort of end at the same place, and it's really like sharp collar that the hair is making. So I'm gonna release the wires from there, and I'm gonna cut it a bit to the cone shape like that, and then I cut more from below the fly. Again, I want to have less material under the fly and more material on the top of the fly. So now the collar is not so sharp or straight, it's more fuzzy and a bit conical shape. So that looks actually relatively okay. And then super glue. Okay, then we repeat this process again. In theory, like if this material would be really good, now we would take a bit shorter hair, but in reality all of the hair is so short in this tail that we just try to take pretty much the maximum length of the hair. Snip, hold, remove the short fluffy. Okay, there. Make sure. Yeah. this is there. Again, 1, 2 loose wraps, squeeze with the thumb, tighten. Oh yeah, just a bit more. It's getting loose. Okay. Here we actually can see that the hair is not opening like it should. It's because I took the hair in a different spot. So this time I took the hair a bit from the too much from the front because it was long, but now it's not hollow enough. We still can make it work, and we will make it work somehow, but it's not so nice and not so good. Like you can see that now this is actually quite open, although I'm pushing this quite hard. I'm pulling really hard and it just doesn't open. Then we can actually cut a bit so that the hair is in an angle like this. So again we want longer hair on the top, shorter at the bottom. So this is not hollow enough, so that's all we can do. So now we'll just push the hair backwards like that. We hold it with fingers, we pull the thread to the front of the hair and we start to make the conical shape so that we are pushing it backwards. Yep. And now you can see, because it's not hollow, there will be a gap and it just doesn't look so nice. I might actually have, let's go a bit backwards, I might have too many wraps there, so we'll just, how many, backwards, yep, 1, 2, yep. So I just removed few wraps from there so that it's easier to push the hair backwards. And now we start to make the conical shaped step from the tying thread. And again, with the thread, every now and then go to the front, then back, so that it's conical, so that it doesn't collapse. Yeah. And we try to make the wrap so that it's even, the collar is evenly backwards. We don't want to have it so that the collar is like this. We want to have it like that. So you have to look from the top and from the side, like do you have to make the wrap this direction or just straight. Now back to the front. Okay, that might be the best. Now you see the ends are again really sharp, so release the fly, cut it so that it's not so straight collar. Okay. It's still pointing a bit too much front, but at this phase I'm going to add flashable, and I'm going to attach the flashable and those threads are also going to push the hair backwards, so that's why I'm leaving it like that now. Okay, so we'll take a small bunch of this flashable. I changed the color, that might be enough. And now this is actually too much. Let's cut it from there. Okay. If you look, this is really long, and we don't want to have long fibers here at the moment, because always when you go more to the head direction you try to shorten the material. So first we will double this flashable like that, there. Then we are gonna cut it from the middle like that. And then again we are pulling like some of the fibers roughly half forward. So now we have a small taper that side and small taper that side. And then we are gonna attach this again from the middle. There. Then we are gonna turn the other end to the other side. We are gonna measure it. And now I notice that the other side is clearly longer, so I can cut it shorter. But I'm cutting it in an angle like this, not like this, because then the tips will be cut straight and we want them to be different length, so I cut it in an angle there. Then we spread the flash spool to the sides and we start to tighten it. And again we look that they are on the sides, not in one point but a bit spread. That looks pretty good. Pull backwards and now we go more backwards and we are closing that gap at the same time when we are attaching the flash spool. And to the front to make it conical. Okay. Press. So that might be okay. I think I can live with that one. Let's make a half inch just in case there. But this is a good example of what happens when the hair is not hollow enough when you are making a bulkhead. So it's a good example what will happen, but also we can still work with that. It's just not going to be so great and not nice and fancy, but probably it will be good enough for a fishing fly, not for a competition fly tying competition fly. And then we'll put super glue probably to this, and we can still put 1 or 2 blue materials, maybe 1, we'll see. So now I'll take a bit more hollow material for sure, because it's gonna be maybe the last punch of hair, and then it can also be shorter because it's the head, so like that. Again, let's remove the short hair. Okay, and let's feel. It feels a bit hollow, so maybe we'll get lucky. Okay, a bit. Okay, we'll see. So on the top, 1, 2 wraps, spread it like that with the right hand, tighten, and bummer, it didn't flare. So it's not, it was not hollow enough, but that is what we have, so we'll have to live with that. I cannot tighten it more, so we'll make 1 more wrap. And here you can see most of the material is on the sides and also on the top of the hook, not at the bottom of the hook or under the hook. So we'll push it, the material backwards like that. Slightly tighten the thread and pull forward so that it comes through the hair, and then we start to make the head. Now the head is gonna look a bit big because we actually have to make a quite big conical shape so that we can pull it really backwards, so it's not gonna look great. But this is a fishing fly, so pikes will not care, probably, hopefully. Yeah, maybe. Let's go one more time for front and then back. So now the hair is pointing backwards, so that looks actually relatively okay. Then we come to the front, half inch, and we'll just finish the fly. There, it's a bit uneven, but this is for fishing, not for a show. Cut the thread now, release the vise and then trim the hair at the front. So I'm cutting it quite short because I try to make it look like a taper with this here. So now you can actually see there will be a small gap, and it's because the material was not hollow enough for making bulkheads. But I think this will be good enough to catch few pikes, which is what matters. Yeah, we'll have to settle with that one. So the last touch, there's also ugly groove there, but we don't care this time. So the last touch is again super glue. So we want to have super glue all over the head. Not in the hook eye obviously, but... And then close the gap. And we are ready. It actually looks quite okay, like this part here looks quite okay. And the head doesn't look so great because it was not hollow enough, the bucktail material, but I'm pretty confident that this will be a good fly for fishing. And actually I made a similar fly just a while ago before this fly. It looks like this. I was interrupted, and that's why you don't have a video of that. And to be honest, here you can see actually some of the bucktail here is too long here and too short here, but I'm sure that oh yeah, and the head looks actually much nicer here. So if I could combine this head with this tail and middle part, it would be pretty good fly. It will be still good fly anyway. So I just wanted to show this version also, because now the next step is to put it under hot water so that the fly is upside like this, let it soak totally well, and then you let it dry in a position like this. So that's what I'm gonna do next, but I just wanted to show you these both flies, how they look now and how they will look after they take a bath. So that will be interesting. And I always, the bucktail flies, I always wet them before I use. So hot water